Hey everyone, I'm just doing some maintenance work on my Timemaster. I thought I would take you along here for anybody who might have one of these and wants to know how to change the belt here. I'm working on this belt right here, which goes back through the motor, and there's a pulley underneath there that runs this hole. The spindles are under here, which is the blade system. So I went to check this the other day, which I haven't done for a while, and I ended up finding that this was pretty much cracked and just about to break. It's actually got a crack right here on the outside as well. So I have part of it torn apart already, which I didn't show you because I kind of got a little ways into it, but I should be able to just put it back together and show you as I'm doing that. So let's do that now. First thing you have to do is take off this cover that just covers all that belt system there. So this right here is one, here, here, and here. So those on the mower are right there, 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 and right back here. So that's 3/8. I just took kind of one of these deep sockets and went in on here, and because some of these are a little bit deeper. You take that piece off, this piece off, and then this shows you all of your blade system. As I said, you take this little belt guide off, which goes up on here. So that's where this was sitting. These are also 3/8. You got one here and one here, and then you just take that off. And then once we flip the mower over here, I'll show you how everything was hooked up on the underside. Okay, so now we have it tipped over, and I'll show you here. You just tip it over on its side to pretty much do any blade work or anything. You can get to the bottom transmission and everything from this side. You always want to make sure that you tip it with the oil side down, which is right there. You got your gas up here. You just want to make sure you tip it that way because that's the way it was designed to empty the oil, and that makes sure that you don't get anything over into the air filter or anything like that. So now we're looking at the bottom side here, and this is your transmission. What I've done already is this spring right here was connected to this little hole, and this little guide I had to loosen just a little bit, because what that does is when this transmission is pushed up into place like that, it makes it so that it can't come down any farther than this guide. So you have to kind of loosen that and get it out of the way, and then you can pull this transmission all the way down. And if you see right here, this is the pulley for the transmission, and right here is the other pulley that it connects to. Let me get the belt real quick that was on there. So basically this belt goes on this pulley, goes on that pulley like that, and then goes up on top of this right here. So you have to take that off. It's easy to do once you get this thing, like I said, slid and moved all the way like I'm moving it right now, pushed down to the bottom. You'll get all the slack off the belt, and then you take that out. Try to do it with one hand. And then this right here is where the belt drive, as I said, from the front, that drives the blades, is connected to the motor right there, and that's the belt that had the big crack in it. So all you have to do is make sure you have that guide off, as I said, in the front, and then you can kind of see right here there's this, which prevents you from just pulling it right off. There's enough slack in there to just kind of pull the belt out like this. Make sure you go up to the front of the mower here, and you take off the belt first here, and then slide it through, and come back down here, and then you can pull the whole thing through that way. But we'll go ahead and put the belt on right now, and you'll kind of get an idea of how to do it. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. What I did was I took this new belt and I put it through here, across this pulley, and then you got to get it underneath this little bar right here, and then you can get it through. I'm going to go to the front side and see if I can pull that through. So now we're just going to put it up on here. We're going to go back to the back side and tighten it onto that pulley. Okay, so there we go, that's on. Let's go back to the front, make sure that's on. Yep. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and put back the transmission belt. It's going to be hard to do with one hand here. So slide this up on this right here, then down here. Okay, so that's on there and there. Now we're going to take this and we're going to tighten it up and put that guard back in place here. So I'm just going to hand tighten this right now, and then I'll tighten it up here in a second. Okay, now we need to take this spring that's back right here, and we need to pull it back onto this little hole right there, which I'll do in just a second. Okay, so I didn't show that, but all I did was I just took this and I just pulled straight this way and just stretched it all the way out and put it back onto there, and then that's going to tighten this piece. As you noticed before, it was kind of moving around a little bit. That pretty much sets it in place, and then this, as I said, is not completely tightened down yet, and I will do that right now. So this piece right here is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's tight. Now we'll go back to the front and put that little blade guide on before we tip the mower back over. So now I'm back on the front, and I'm going to go ahead and put this little thing back on. So basically we'll just put those in and finger tighten them down, and then I will tip the mower over and we'll tighten them the rest of the way and put the cover back on. Okay, now that should be it for this belt. Right now it obviously looks pretty loose because there's not any tension on it. When you pull down the handle, you'll get all the tension on it. I just did mine and it felt just a little bit tight, so I'm gonna have to test it when I start the mower up. But if you do need to adjust that, this little thing right here, when you loosen that, that's where you can adjust the tightness. So I did do that once before, probably sometime last year after I'd used the mower for a while. I tightened the belt just a little bit then, so I might need to loosen it again since this is brand new. I would just loosen this up and pull this back this way. If you want to tighten it, you go the other way. So I'm going to go ahead and start this up real quick and kind of see what it does and see if I need to adjust that. That seems to be running okay actually, so I'll keep an eye on it here in the next little while after I use it a little bit and see what happens, but it didn't feel like it was overly tight or making any weird noises or anything. So go ahead and put the cover back on and we're done. Okay, and that's it. We got the belt changed. Now it's time to mow.